Hi, this is Wendy from 3Rs, Rhymes, Reasons and Written Reviews. I'm just doing a quick video tonight. We've had a story on the ABC News tonight, and I've got the link here which I'll add to my video in the description section. So finally we're getting a little bit more publicity here in Australia. So I just wanted to read a little bit about this, and please go into the description section to read this yourself. But the news headline was former Jehovah's Witness speaks out about childhood abuse, say it was covered up. It's showing that it was the ABC Sunshine Coast, a story done by Tara Cassidy. It was updated earlier today at 7:48 a.m. So it's showing a photo of Claire Milne, who was abused from 3 years of age before she sadly passed away at 17 from a seizure. Then it goes on to say Diane Lynn was just a toddler when her mother was door-knocked by a Jehovah's Witness, offering the hope of a future of paradise on earth. Instead, Ms. Lynn was subjected to years of sexual abuse at the hands of a member of her mother's new congregation. And when she finally found the courage to speak out, she was greeted with inaction and cover-ups, even as the abuse continued. Ms. Lynn is one of more than 1,800 alleged victims of child sex abuse within the Jehovah's Witness organisation, in submissions to the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse. And yet, despite findings by the Commission that the organisation failed to adequately protect children in its care, it has not joined the National Redress Scheme intended to compensate victims or change the practices that allowed abuse to flourish. Then it goes on with a subheading to say, told she was wearing improper clothing. Hang on, let's go back. Ms. Lynn said she was abused by a male member of her congregation for years on end, but when she built the courage to speak up, her complaints fell on deaf ears. When I was about 5, we had a circuit overseer come to our house, and I was brave enough to tell him what was happening. He said he would take care of it and to listen hard at his next talk, she said. The Jehovah's Witness organisation, it goes on to talk about the organisation now. It says, oversees each congregation by a body of elders who look to God on all matters, interprets the Bible literally, believes that the end of the world is imminent in a final battle between good and evil called Armageddon, has a strict male headship, women cannot take on senior roles in the religion, maintains separateness from those outside of the religion, practices evangelizing to convert others to the religion. That was just a little bit in between. Now it goes on to tell her story, and it says that weekend he gave a public talk about David and Goliath, and how David was just a little boy, but oh my, how he killed that giant. And that was it. That was how he handled it. And then Ms. Lynn goes on to say that she cried her eyes out. I just cried my eyes out, and I didn't understand why he didn't do anything, and it didn't stop, and the abuse continued. Ms. Lynn said she was made to feel like she was to blame. I was told I was wearing improper clothing. I was giving the brothers improper thoughts, and it was my fault, she said. They'd say, you can't bring reproach on Jehovah's name. The congregation is meant to be seen as clean. We're God's chosen people. My father would repeat teachings about how useless, my father would repeat teachings about how, unless the girl screamed, it was consensual. At 35 years old, Ms. Lynn eventually left the religion, leaving many family members and friends behind. It's hard for people to understand why you would stay in a religion like that, but you think you're doing the right thing. You know nothing else, she said. You're taught to believe the world is wicked. You don't trust anyone else, and if you leave, you have to leave your family and friends behind and go through it all alone. That's really hard to face. But I just had to. I couldn't raise my kids in something like that. If one child is hurt, that's one child too many. It goes on to talk about another story about a lady who is now age 67, and her name is Sylvia Marinus, and you can read about that when you go onto the link that I'll add to this video. But I'll just keep this short so that it won't take very long to upload. And I just want to say I'm doing this video just to let you know that here in Australia, that it's really good to know that the word is getting out as well. So it's very sad that these things have to be said, but it's a great thing that these ladies have come forth and told their stories and been brave enough and have enough courage to put their stories out there, out on the TV, and we can learn a lot from them, and hopefully their stories will show other people, just any ordinary people out there, that we need their support. We need their support on this problem. So that's all for now, and thanks very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe, but the most important thing is this story. So don't forget to go into the description, click on the link, and it'll be there for you. Thank you. That's all for tonight. Good night.